Hey folks, JD here, and this is the Holy Stone Bolt Bee. What are my thoughts and impressions 12 months on of this little beauty? Well, let's start right back at the beginning. I first saw this quadcopter on a friend of mine's channel called Southpaw Drones, as he was at the time. Now he's Southpaw RC. And I saw the copter and I couldn't believe just how fun this little guy looked. It has so much going for it. It's unbelievable, but it's extremely difficult to find. Now, I've got two of these, thanks to Steve for sending me his. And after, 12 months on, I'm still flying them. But there have been a couple of differences and a couple of changes in those 12 months. One of the main differences is that the batteries do not last a 12 months. Now, I've got 6 batteries here, and all of them I get about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes of flight out of them, and that's it. The quad just drops out of the air. Now that's a bit of a downside, massively, because without the battery, how are you going to get power into this? You're not. So I've taken to starting to opening up the casing and replace the battery inside, and it does an okay job. It gets me back up in the air. I'm still looking at about 5 or 6 minutes of flight. This particular quadcopter, brushed motors don't forget, is extremely adept at flying in any particular conditions. I've done loads of different videos on this, in winds, in rain, in drizzle, in mist, in fog, in higher winds of I think 12 to 15 mile an hour, because you've got 5 speed modes, and those 5 speed modes, cranking up these motors up to 75,000 RPM, really does put this quad through its paces. But still, I haven't had to change any of these motors in the 12 months that I've had these quad. They are still factory standard. I'm pretty sure that they're not going to last another 12 months, but I'm absolutely staggered that they carry this through all the punishment I've put it through, and it's still working brilliantly. I think this is a fantastic drone. Now, there is another quadcopter, which is the copy of this one, or this is the copy of that one, either way, which is the Helifar H903, I think, and they're exactly the same. But this is my only experience is with the Holy Stone, and I tell you what, I couldn't be happier. I absolutely couldn't be happier. Its flight, it's so nimble, it's quick, it turns on a dime. You can do fantastic funnels, you can do some tricks. There are some people up there as well which have flashed the quad and have got it to do things that I haven't. And I tell you what, the transmitter is good. The 5 speeds are just brilliant. You have oodles of fun inside this thing. Absolutely. And you know what? I would pay £60 again for this anytime, any day of the week, because I think it's worth it. I mean, I bought one for the Canadian Drone Network for Roger and Kim a little while ago and sent it up there because I just want more people to have these quads. I think they're brilliant fun. And I really, do you know what? I just think it's such a special little model. I really do. I cannot fault this in any way, shape or form. Now, there are a couple of downsides, as I said. One of them being the battery. Second one, I found its reach. Now, when I first took this out, I did about 120 meters, which is absolutely brilliant for this little flyer, and it was quite difficult to see at that. But I have had it drop out of the sky since the batteries have been waning a little bit at about 80 meters. Now, you could say that that's because the battery can't power the quad properly, therefore it's not able to properly judge or not able to properly power or send through this is Steve's version, send through the amount of voltage or current needed to keep the antenna connected to the transmitter, and that could very well be the case. But at the same time, you've got to imagine that this isn't a long flyer. This is quite a short, close flyer. Now, this hasn't got a camera. It is quite literally just, I would call it, actually going out on a bit of a whim, I would call it sort of an entry level racer. It does act as fast as that. If you kick it into speed mode 5, it does really kick you in the ass. This thing does. You don't expect it to be as quick as it actually is. It turns on a 5p piece and just flies everywhere that you push the transmitter. Now, another downside of this, and it's got to be said, and I know this is quite finicky, and I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me, but I think the low voltage meter in this needs to be, turned on its head. As soon as you've probably seen it and heard it in the other videos I've had up of this, which if you haven't seen them all, they're all in the description if you want to check them out. You have a low voltage meter, which you have with pretty much any quad, right? So you take off, you start to fly, and after about 50 seconds, the low voltage meter goes off, and it's ringing on the transmitter all the time. Now, I know I could just disconnect the speaker and be done with it, but at the end of the day, it does serve a bit of a useful purpose, but not 50 seconds into a flight. Even on the new batteries, which are brand new, which are tested in other quads, which have at least 10 minutes in them, when as soon as they go into this, on speed mode 1, I get between 5 and 6 minutes, that's it. Just because this quad really does push those batteries to the limits. Now, if that low voltage meter only beeps, it beeps continuous. If it beeped 3 beeps and then nothing for about a minute and then 3 beeps and then nothing, I wouldn't say anything. I would just think, right, okay, it's alerting me that there's a problem or there's low voltage. I shouldn't fly it too far. But it's constantly beep, 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 beep. Which, okay, it's an alert system and it's doing exactly what it's designed to do, alert you. I just think it's massively annoying. And I think it could be redefined into maybe 3 beep system, 3 beeps and then nothing for maybe a minute or half a minute and then 3 beeps. Just enough so you have a bit of a break in between, because the constant beeping really gets in your nerves quite quick. All in all, 12 months on, I am massively happy with this. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant quad. And if you haven't got one, I tell you what, I would tell anyone to go out and buy it. I think it's brilliant, but beware of those batteries. After trying to think of the rough amount of cycles I've put through them, all 6 batteries I've got here, 5 or 6 batteries I've got here, are all different amount of cycles, but I would say that they would average at least 18 to 20, and after that then you can expect to go from 8 to 10 minutes of flight down to 2 or 3, but as I say, you can exchange the batteries with a little bit of soldering, a little bit of fiddling. You can do that, which is what I've started to do, and I've started to see upwards of 4.5 to 5 minutes of flight again. Right, my friends, that's been the Holy Stone Boat Bee. Thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.